After I graduated from college, as my graduation present, my wonderful, generous mother took me to Italy for 3 weeks, and we toured the cathedrals, and um, even their secular spaces there are sort of imbued with this kind of divinity and awe. I think that is in every part of life in most of Italy. This kind of reverence for the small things, for the daily life, and in going into those cathedrals and those public spaces, the amount of pattern there is staggering. I mean, it's mind-blowing. It's like you look up, there's a pattern. You look up, there's a pattern in gold. There's a pattern in bone or painted or mosaicked or whatever. And it was so all-encompassing, and the effect that it had on me personally was really overwhelming in a good way. I'm not sure if this metaphor is going to work, but I'll try it. When after people have, like if they get shaken up, if they get in a car accident, they'll put the trauma blankets over them, and it's like this very calming weight on your body, and that's kind of the physical effect that I got when I walked into these spaces. So it was really visceral, very, it wasn't an intellectual thing, it was just like in my gut or in my soul. I felt this kind of effect on me just through the use of color and pattern, and the spaces and the architecture. So that's sort of the first thing. I was like, not only do I want to use pattern, but I want to work large, and I want to kind of create these environments. So that lit the match. Every piece starts a little bit differently. So for a while I've been using what I call a radial pattern, which just means that it starts in the middle. So you start with a point in the middle, and like I'm doing these pieces that are kind of meditations on hexagons, and the honeycomb beehive formation. So it will start with one, oh, that actually looks like a hexagon. It will start with one hexagon in the middle, and then from each of those 6 sides, I'll build out in those 6 different directions, kind of radially. And it's kind of similar to the spiritual practice of like creating mandalas. But it is essentially kind of working as a spiral pattern outward, and they just grow. And in that way, it's always surprising to me, which is really exciting, that whatever happens, like whatever motion my hand makes, not only becomes part of the inside, but especially as you get closer to the outside, it actually becomes the contour of the shape itself. So there's something about that I like, that everything in that shape affects everything else in that shape. So it's completely interconnected, which I find very graceful. I think for me, work that is successful is work that can kind of bypass the intellectual or bypass the cultural and get sort of like straight to the core of you, like straight into that thing in your gut, and somehow find a way to affect that or to move you. I like kind of like starting from a little seed and then letting it grow, whichever way it wants to grow.